The prince is giving a ball. The prince is giving a ball.
I think I was like 5 or 6.
I'll probably say like 7 or 8.
I was about 7 when I first saw it.
I was 7 years old when the movie came out.
I think that I was about 4 or 5 years old.
Maybe 5 or 6. It was a VHS that my mom bought that I saw it once and probably saw it, like most kids do, like religiously every single day till they're sick of it for a while, but then I never got sick of it, so I watched it all the time. And I'm now 28.
And it still to this day has been very impactful for me. I was literally at one of my cousin's house and she was babysitting me at the time and just bored, nothing really to do or whatever. So she pulls out this VHS tape, puts it on for me or whatever, and I immediately fall in love. Because as a Black woman, that was the first time I had ever seen a Black woman, on screen like that, playing a lead like that. So it was very impactful for me. It's honestly the reason why I'm an actor to this day. If we want to talk about it, okay?
I think I watched it in school one time. Like they had it on like VHS or something like that. I mean, we all know the story of Cinderella and whatnot, but this one was just a little bit different. It just hit different overall. And I remember like other kids being like excited to see it. And I'm like, how y'all know about this and I don't, you know what I'm saying? And then seeing it, I was like, I get why it's different.
So I had the privilege of growing up around Black people, like in a Afrocentric household, Black communities. Like it's a privilege, honestly. So I'm used to seeing Black people. It wasn't a shock to see so much of a Black Cinderella, but the shock was that like, wait a minute, this is an Asian appearing man and white dad and a Black mom. Like that, it's just, I was like, the math was not mathing for me.
She's Black and their son is, not Black.
So I think it threw me off because I was like, this doesn't make sense, You have, your parents are supposed to, and I don't even think I understood the idea of being mixed and having like a white mom and a Black dad and how that looks. But I was like, I know it doesn't produce this. It doesn't make sense.
I could see that like they weren't the same, but I don't remember like questioning it more so than that. And then when like social media started popping and we started talking about like, yeah, no one questioned like there's an Asian prince with a Black and white mom and dad, and I was like, oh, they're probably taking the elements from like Broadway, kind of like colorblind cast, and implementing it in something that's being recorded like a movie or TV production.
It makes me wonder if, movies like this paved the way for the likes of Bridgerton.
But I also found that to be very cool. I felt that it was very, it just had a lot of involvement. I think also I just got excited of the fact that Brandy was in it and Whitney Houston was in it. I'm like, this is great, I'm
biracial, and so like in my house, my mom is white, my dad was Black, and so for me, I guess that was just an identifier. We had white Cinderella on VHS. There was Black Cinderella on VHS, and so if I wanted to specify, that was just my go-to. Like, I didn't know how else to I describe it. I wasn't gonna be 4 years old saying like, Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella. No, it was just like, I want to see Black Cinderella, the one with flavor. So
remember watching the film and just being completely amazed at the voice of Whitney Houston, of Brandy's voice, the blended cast, how race wasn't really an issue. We just enjoyed the story. We just enjoyed the music. Just wanted to see a happy ending for Cinderella.
I feel like race didn't enter my mind about that specific film till I got older and understand what it meant to be a Black girl in society. But then at that age, I was just like, oh my gosh, this princess is brown like me and she's getting her happy ending. Cool. Which is how so many Black and brown bodies in this world who are children deserve to see themselves in films all the dang time. And at least we have this to culturally just keep putting out into the world to be like, here, watch this. This is a prime example of just us telling a story without it having to be about how we look like and all these things. It's just a girl who wants a better life for herself who then finds someone that deserves her love she has to give to the world.
I feel like the film was really brilliant in taking a simple message about it in the theme of colorblindness, and not in a forceful way or a way to like shove it down your throat. You know, it felt very organic and you didn't really think about it. You got the message, but it wasn't like forced on you.
Impossible for a plain yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage. Impossible.
Impossible. But of course.
Like, impossible, 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 impossible.
You're in the dumps. This is the moment of just like, oh, I'm over it. I have nothing more to give, right? And then you give us impossible, and you're giving us these queens that are singing their butts off. Like, it was an iconic moment. We get Whitney Houston. We get our America's Black sweetheart, Brandy. You know what I'm saying? She's starting or developing her career as an actress, but also she's like, no, but baby, y'all, I sing. And I be singing. Like, I'm gonna give it to you. There's a lot of new cinematic elements that were coming into play in this one moment.
Impossible, impossible, impossible.
On top of, like, as a little girl, this is the Cinderella story. Like, this is the moment we wait for. We are waiting for the carriage ride. I want to see you transform into the princess. Like, this is the moment as a little girl that we anticipate for, you know?
It was my favorite scene just because it was a moment to see them interact and to see, you know, two of, you know, the biggest singing legends ever sing together, have a moment, and also play these really, really amazing characters and just bring them to life.
Like, life-changing, right? And so, and to hear Whitney and Brandy together, it's like hair-raising. Those are two of my favorite female singers all time. So, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer for
me. In my own little corner, in my own little chair, I can be whatever I want to be.
If I had to pick a favorite, it would be My Own Little Corner. And I think it's because I somewhat related to that growing up. As a kid, I was the only kid for a while until my dad remarried. And I spent a lot of time in my own little corner. For Cinderella, no matter how bad her situation was, she always found solace in her little corner. She could be anyone, she could be anything that she wanted to be, no matter what the world, no matter what her family told her. Her little corner was hers. No one could take that from her. So that would probably be my favorite song.
A Lovely Night.
A lovely night, a lovely night, a finer night you know you'll never see.
But I think I resonate so much with that song because, like, it's still a thing to this day. You know, she's talking about, you know, you have this guy who kisses you and love and all of that, and none of it's real and da-da-da. It's like, to this day, like, that's still a big thing. Like, love is such a beautiful thing, but you also have to take all of the bad parts of it too.
Darling, I love you.
The sweetest sounds I'll ever hear. Like, the first one, it just sets it up, and Brandy's beautiful. And the whole thing with her running into everything, and then the prince sees her, and like, it's just like the little line.
It's like those royals, isn't it? Not caring if they're in anybody's way.
Well, I'm sure they were going somewhere very important.
I doubt it.
Thanks. Thanks for your help.
Why would a fella want a girl like that?
A frail and fluffy beauty. Why can't a fellow ever once prefer a solid girl like me? She's a frothy little
It's so nostalgic, and that always was me and my brother's favorite song to sing along to and watch.
My favorite song is There Is Music in You.
Someone wants you. You know who.
Whitney is, she's something else. I love her voice.
There's music in you.
But she's an influence for me. So yeah, she's amazing.
Now you're hearing something new.
Jason Alexander is proclaiming about the ball that he's giving.
His Royal Highness Christopher Rupert, son of Her Majesty Queen Constantina, Charlotte Ermenprud, Guinevere Maisie,
Maisie?
Maisie, Margarita.
He murdered that. He murdered it.